We promise it will not be boring today. So we have a pitch deck with about 40 slides. We will go through them quickly, so therefore no worries at all. We will guide you through this. And in best case, our aim, Malte, my aim today is to bring you through this, and you can really see how can, on operations basis, how can we handle the work of 3 employees with 1 single machine. And normally in areas where until now no forklift, no yard loader, and no person could ever work effectively. So this is our, oh, there's some more that we let them in. So hello everybody. And thanks again for this and welcome. It's great to have you with us today. We are really happy to launch our first international webinar for this. And Malte will bring you through the detailed step. You can see he's already in his garage. So it will be a very practical webinar today. So, and we will stop sharing the presentation that you can really see, because this is especially for you. We will present you 2 machines in this webinar, how you can really see how you can use them in your daily business. So this is what one thing what you can really expect. And after presenting this, really the MiniJack, we will do it in a combination with a buffer table, that you can see the advantages of this. And then in best case, you get also some information, some insights. Yeah, why your operation is under structural pressure nowadays, and this has nothing to do with your performance, but everything to do with the market and all the circumstances we face there. And therefore we picked out 5 problems, challenges, as you like, that really slows down the operational sides, and this on a daily basis. And in the end, what does it really cost? So, and therefore we will also give you a few solutions for this, to give you the most out of it for you today. Yes. So because in the end of the day, you open up the gates of your nursery every day, and you spend a lot of time, and I think overnight you think about, okay, how will be this season and so on. And it's very important that we can support you as much as we can from this side. So we will go over to these points. We would like also to announce, in Germany it's very typical, and I know it's international, it's luckily the other side. So if there are questions, please raise them. You can use the Q&A, or in this case it should be F&A. It's German Fragen und Antworten, the questions and answers. You can really raise them, and you can also use the chat function. And if you want to go in detail, it would be very nice. So we can also open up your camera. This is not mandatory at all, but we can also open up your microphone, that we can really go in an interaction. So please feel free for this. No worries about, is it a good question or not? What the others think about this. This is typical German, but please feel free to do not so and raise your questions, because then we can do it more interactive as we can. Okay, perfect. I think Malte, for the guys who not know you, you can give them a short introduction of yourself, yes, because you're very in this industry, and then we will start with the presentation.
Yes, hello. So I know that there are some guys knowing me, so because we have some of our dealers with us. So hello to your side, and thank you for your time that you join us today. So and everybody who don't know me, so I'm Malte Hamann. I'm the CEO of Seed to Soil, and yes, one of the team members who are inventing solutions for the nurseries and the horticulture business. And so I'm quite happy that you join us today, and we are allowed to show you what we have done in the last years. And give you a short news flash about what the MiniJack has new now, and about how we can, yes, streamline the whole production line, because we've got one customer project today here. So some of you who were on the IPM knows it already, but it's yeah, it's here again because we do some improvements, and so I took the chance to show it in the webinar today and show you everything about what's actually new on the MiniJack and what we can do for streamlining the logistic processes in nurseries and horticulture business. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, then let's start from this. What we really see, and it's, I think it's everywhere a hot topic, is really to get good workforces in our companies, and we're really facing the problem that the hiring process is really a challenge for us. That there are also some movements from the countries where the workforces are no longer able or willing to support companies, and because of different reasons. If it's the heavy lifting, is it back pain, or is it really circumstances they not feel good about it? So therefore also we saw that if you are good to your employees, as you know, so that they will stay, but also that you have we have to have some more magnets to really attract them to our companies. And we also think that technical solutions, mechanical solutions are also a good lever to really attract good workforces. And next to this, we are really seeing more challenges than 5, but we think these are the most common ones, what we see, what most companies facing every day. So this is also where I hand over to Malte, out of his experience, because he and his teams are very are seeing a lot of companies and all the difficulties and the different circumstances of this. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, we had the chance in the last years to go in Europe wise, a lot of companies, and to go, of course, in Germany, a lot of companies, in the Netherlands, and even in the US in some companies, and had quite a good look into into the challenges, and it's everywhere kind of same 5 challenges we figured out. So it's a lack of flexible transport solutions. So in a lot of areas of the world, and especially in companies where we are focusing on, are actually working a lot of labor by hand, moving the pots around, unloading or loading trolley wagons or tracking wagons. So they have sometimes health issues and get, for example, these, I don't know the English word, but on the hand you have got some problems you get during the time if you work longer to grab heavy pots. Then the employees in the nurseries are often like, they like plants and working with plants, and not so familiar with the technology or techniques. So they need easy solutions, what it's easy to use and not so complex. Then the growing areas of our company's places are often, soft, or you can work on them by foot or manually, and they are not possible for holding heavy forklifts, for example. And then even all over the world, it's often the same topic. You even won't get the people who will help you to do this manual work anymore, or it's a really hard challenge to get them. So I know that some guys from Canada, for example, get them from India and from the Philippines, and even in Europe we get this problem. Even in the east of Europe we get these problems. So that's what our customers face in every day in their companies. Yes, Tim.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and how can we
solve it? Yeah.
Yes, right. And how we like to help you by solving these things. So we've like I said, we saw a lot of companies right now, and we figured out that we need a solution which is quite flexible, because pots and different sizes of pots and trays are, yes, you can imagine it's a really big amount, even in Europe, and then all over the world. It's a quite heavy task to have a solution which is able to move everywhere pots. So we have like kind of standards, and can get out of these standards flexible, customized solutions for, especially for your company. And so we looking at the companies and looking how we can make the products or the solutions fit best in their logistics, in their current logistics. Yes. So next page, Tim.
Yeah. So this bring us over to, I would say, a live demo.
Yes.
So you can really see the advantages, and also there, please feel free to raise questions. Use the form or the Q&A, because then we can do it really interactive. Yeah. So if there's something, please let us know. I will stop sharing, and now Malte will switch over to his device.
Hopefully it will work.
This is also a good example, because you will see Malte holding his phone and explaining the devices at once. So, and therefore it's also a good sign to see how easy it is to handle these kind of machines. Yeah.
I will give you a short overview of what I've got here in our workshop right now. And so therefore I switched the camera. So we've got the new MiniJack with a straight mast, especially for loading and unloading carts with more than one shelf, for example. Then I've got a small MiniJack, which is the a model with 700 millimeters lifting height, and with a kind of easy pallet fork we did for that thing. So to move things around here in our workshop. So, and then I show you what we've got here. Here's the MiniJack with a quite higher mast, and there's a fork in front for spacing out these kind of pots. And we've got the buffer table, which is an easy buffer table where you can unload, for example, CC trolleys on these buffer table. The width of the buffer table is specially designed for the customer's bed sizes, and so you're able to move the plants out of the CC trolley or into the CC trolley directly with the MiniJack and two people in this case. So, and now I will start explaining the MiniJack. I know that there are some people who are really know how it's working, but if there's somebody who's not that familiar yet, I will show you from the beginning. So the MiniJack has here two counterweights, then completely driven front axle. Individually, every tire is driven. You will drive it by this joystick here, and you will drive it like forward, backward, left, and right, and everything in between. And with this button, you will start in this case, the spacing function. On some MiniJacks, it's a lower gear and higher gear, or faster and slower movement. Then we've got here the two buttons for up and down. And in this case, we have the MiniJack equipped with a spacing function. I will show it later. And you can go with the MiniJack just by pushing the joystick forward. And yeah, like Tim said, I do it by hand because today I'm alone here and I haven't got somebody who will help me with my camera, like you see. And yeah, so it's very easy to use. It's much easier than our bigger forklift here in our workshop to move with this equipment. So it's just after 15 minutes, I would say, you will be able to handle the first tasks with it, and then the speed in using it comes over time. So yes, upward, downwards, it's with the both of these buttons in here. So then the next MiniJack, so that's, like I said, it's the smallest version. Even it's possible to get it without the spacing function, just for loading and unloading trolleys or CC carts, or not CC carts, but trolleys and tracking wagons. So CC carts, of course, too. We have got a customer who put together 3 CC carts so that he got a longer fork and take it out of the shelves, but it's a kind of customized CC cart in that case. So, and if you have got more than one shelf, so we designed the MiniJack you can see now, which is the version with a straight mast and a tilt function. So in this case, we built here a new feature, like it's the yes, that's the motor for the tilt function, and with that you are able to have a second function, and you can tilt like on a forklift the fork. So that's for more easy use in in rough terrain, or when you unload tracking wagons or something like that, which is when they are not straightforward, or you have small pots, it's more handy to use the tilt function. Or if you have trays where they're very shallow with small tines. So in this case, you have a second joystick here. You can see it here. Here underneath, like on the other side, it's the tilt, which is backwards, forward. It's like tilting back, forward. Then we have got here, oh no, sorry. My gimbal won't pay. So now, then here we have got the side shift, which is on this machine too. And we have got a second button for starting the spacing function, which is very handy to get the speed a little bit up during the process of starting out the process of spacing the plants with the MiniJack. So during you drive on the right hand with the thumb on the joystick, you can just go and push directly the button during the drive. So it will speed up a little bit the process of spacing out. Yes, so all you can see growed in our minds and in our workshop because of the customer feedback. And so that's like we are looking what's necessary and just moving forward step by step. Here you can see the side shift, which is able to which we are able to put on the current MiniJack. It's just like a fork in between the fork and the MiniJack. So that's what we've got here. Here in this case now it's a standard transport fork. We have different designs of tines with a flat surface on the top, or with this surface with this grip surface on the top. Then we have got a clamp where we are able to clamp the tines on the main tube. We have different sizes of main tubes, or 2 different sizes of main tubes, so that we are able to have a bigger main tube if necessary, if you've got a very wide fork. So last fork we built, which was very wide, was about 2.8 meter, close to 3 meter. But then in that case, because of the limited lifting capacity, the tines are shorter, but the fork is wider. And in that case, we are able to space out a lot of plants with one move. And so the customer decided he wants a wide fork. So we did that, and we are able to go for this with this system. Yes. So even if there are some questions, just let me know. Tim, are there some questions right now?
No, not yet. No questions.
Good. So then the next version is this MiniJack, which is 1.4 meter lifting height. That's in between the 1.1 and the 1.6 meter. That's quite the standard we send every time over to the US because of the bigger pots. You need more lifting heights, especially here if the lip of the pot is more far on the top, we need more lifting height. And so that's the reason why we put that as a standard for the US. Of course, everything else is available too, but we put that as a standard because we figured out that it's quite useful for these bigger pots. Here in that case, we have got this machine with the spacing function. Spacing function will be activated like I will show you right now.
Yeah, so, Malte, before you show, may I raise one question from the chat, please? Okay. And with this new option, what is the max weight of pot to load?
So with the tilt function. So
yes, I guess so. Yeah, it was just a few seconds ago where you were there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the tilt function, it's a little bit less than 150 kilograms. So we are about 120, I would say. So and with the side shift in between, then it's about 120 kilograms. So it's a little bit less in that case because I can show you here in this case, we have this angled mast here on the MiniJack to get the load as far back as possible. And on the straight mast, we move the fork upwards straight, and so the lifting capacity of that machine decreases a little bit. But if you need to unload shelves, for example, it will be more handy in that case. And so that's the reason why we did that. But the maximum lifting capacity just decreases a little bit because it's the point of gravity is going a little bit more in the front from the front axle. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for this. I hope this answered the question. If not, please feel free to add something. And next to questions you can raise, please also free if you want to see something special in the demo. So you can also raise a request if Malte can show you X, Y, Z. So please feel free for this. Yeah.
Yes, right. So of course we have every time the possibility to move the counterweight a bit more backwards, which is increasing the lifting capacity. But we will figure out that in customized in the talk to the customer and what's needed in that case. So and sometimes we have to do a trial and figure out what's possible and what's necessary. So yeah. Then I will go over to the spacing function. So we reworked the whole spacing function. Now we've got different. We've got a different menu a little bit. Here you can see we have to put down the pot diameter. Then the next one is the distance between the pots. We can find everything in the help function. Now it's in German, but we have several languages like French, Spanish, English. Yes, that's all inside. Polish, Netherlands. Yeah, so we did all of that. So then we have different possibilities. Like here, we can put the pots down like parallel. We can put the pots down in a triangled version. And here is explained how we have to program the spacing function. So it's programmable for everybody on site. And just with a little bit of practice, it's very, very easy. So we have 3 different heights, which is the ground height. Then we have deep pot down, so I will show you right now. And then we have hover height, where all pots are in the air. So like I said, I will do it by one hand right now. We take the pots from the buffer, go backwards somewhere where we want to have them. Then we have to push this button here 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3. Then the MiniJack goes directly into the hover height. Now we are able to move around a little bit and make the position where we want to start. And here you can see this is our easiest spacing fork. So we have got the deep pot. Every second pot is deeper than the other, which us enables to make out of these square pattern and triangle pattern. And so we need to put down here these pots first and make sure that every second pot will still be in the air, and the MiniJack will get it like a like a dance, like a choreography, that he knows how far to move the fork in every step. So that's the reason why we have to put down these different heights to make the MiniJack work with the spacing function. Yes, and like we try to go every time that we will be able to go at newer versions of the MiniJack, we are able to make an update and put the spacing function later on in the MiniJack. So now we have to push the button 1 second. You see the pots. Every second pot is now on the surface, and we go backwards. And I will just take, and the MiniJack will stop. And now we go, the MiniJack will do it all by itself without any doing from my side. And I will just hold the joystick backwards. And then every time when I want to stop, I just let the joystick don't move it, and so the MiniJack will stop immediately. So, and then we get this pattern out of the fork, and yeah, we are able to move about, in this case, with this machine and this thing, about 1,200 pots in the end. Right now we are at 900. That's the reason why the MiniJack is here again. So we will put another row on the fork that we are able to go with 4 pots in that case, and make a little bit more heavier mast on that machine. So I can show you here, we like a version which is a little bit updated. Here you can see we got a second new mast here, which is a little bit more thicker steel, so that we are able to increase the capacity of the MiniJack a little bit. Even this is for the customers available who have already MiniJack and need a more straightened mast. We will ship that over, and you can build it on the machine by yourself. So yes, if there are no questions regarding this machine, I will walk over to the buffer table and show how we or what we thought about that and why we did it like we did it. Tim, are there some questions? No, right?
No, no questions.
Okay. So now we are here with the buffer table, which is adjustable in the height, so we can move it upwards, downwards, and we can adjust the tilt here, so to make the plants by gravity go to the end, or by gravity go to the loader and unload people, which is in the normal case 1 person. And then we have CC trolleys here in that case. Could be other trolleys too. So the CC trolleys in this case are, or at the customer, the CC trolleys are full of hydrangeas, which are in the cooling storage over the winter. And then it's necessary to get the plants out of the cooling, get it from the CC trolley into the field. And therefore we using the MiniJack in this case and saving 2 to 3 people in the whole process. And so that's the reason why why we go for this solution, and it should show you that we like to figure out how we can best streamline the whole process individually in your company. This buffer table has like a, I don't know the English word for that. It's a it's a thing who makes the pattern Schablone, so we can go and put this away, and that's
a
depending
template
on a template. Yes, right.
Is it a template?
Yeah, maybe template. So we can move that away for go for other pot types, other smaller pot types, bigger pot types. We will be able to just make a template which is in a different style. This template fit to the fork of the MiniJack here in that case, and in this case it fits to the bed size of that customer. He has an old glass houses in the Netherlands, and so the fork width and the buffer table width, it's completely fitted to these. So yeah, and now we are able to go here with this upwards, downwards, and can in that case even easy load and unload the CC trolleys even in the highest loading. So that's what we thought about these things. Makes the work much easier and a little bit safer for sure, because the people are not on a small stairs, they're on a table.
Okay, there's one question, interesting questions. Do the pots buffer as they are loaded by hand? So do they roll down the rollers by themselves, or is it necessary for the people loading to push them?
So normally it's a little bit depending on the pot, but it's working like going by gravity normally. So and sometimes if you load the from the back side to the front side, the people will of course push the next one again, but it will easily roll to this end here, and then you are able to fetch it with the MiniJack, move it out, and afterwards if you will, for example, load CC trolleys with the thing, so you can fetch the plants out of the bed with the MiniJack and just push the whole packet back to the packer in that case, and just with the force of the MiniJack and with the help of gravity. So yeah.
Okay.
Working quite easy.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thanks for this. And then it also means you can play a little bit with the tilt function, that you really can then steer it. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. There's an interesting question. Next one, and we will come back to this. There's a question about if we have a budget idea for this buffer table. Yes, we will come to this in a few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So then I would say let's go further with the presentation, Tim. And
yes.
And if there are more questions, we can have a short session later, and I can go again through the machines.
Yes, perfect. I think also the question is good timing. So I will share the presentation again, because there's also a calculation. So as you already saw, these are a lot of technical details following, so we will make it really fast on this. If there are some questions, we take the time. A lot of things already were by Malte explained, but also there, feel free to interrupt us to ask your questions. And then we will make it really short, step by step, and then we will go to the budget, meaning in the calculation or in the investment. Yeah.
Yes, and we can
only a few minutes left.
Share the and of course we can share the presentation
yes.
afterward. So
yeah, good point. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, perfect. So as you saw, the 3 versions of the MiniJack. I will go a step further. Malte, feel free to add some important informations.
Yes, that's our current MiniJacks are the 700, 110, and 1600. Of course, the version we saw here in the workshop, it's in between the 110 and the 1600, which we normally only does for the or only do for the US American market. So in the past, but if you need something like that, we can of course talk about that. And yeah, it's available. But these 3 types are normally the most common versions. So then we have different kind of forks, like I showed the transport fork, which is good for transporting and moving plants around. Then we've got a spacing fork, like I showed with this different heights of the pots in the first row, which makes it easy for spacing. But yeah, it's sometimes a little bit unhandy for loading or unloading. If you are just loading and unloading carts, I would recommend to use a transport fork. And then we've got a spacing fork and a big pot grabber, so we can show you later on in this presentation what these forks are doing. So yeah, here you can see again, left top, the transport fork, then the spacing fork, which is able, with the MiniJack program, is able to space the plants out in 2 different directions. So which is, I think, not very often available in the market, especially not in that price range we are working on. And then on the left down, there's a standard spacing fork, and then the big pot grabber, which is mounted very close in front of the MiniJack, and that's the reason why we are able to move more than 150 kilograms with this implement in that case. So, but yeah, right. Next thing. So then we are having the different patterns we can move. Of course, we can move plants together, put them somewhere. Next thing is we can put them out. We can put them out in lines. So by just by this parallel program, and there's in the last version you can see down there's a triangled pattern of plants, which is where we are able with a very easy fork spacing out the plants, because we don't need these different pot height in the first row of the fork. And so we figured out that for smaller businesses, they have a very big amount of plants on a small space, and so we are able to fetch that from the surface, move it around, and space it directly out with a very easy transport fork. So because the pattern is already existing on the fork, and so we are able to space the pattern bigger. So there was a question, Tim?
Yeah.
I think.
Just a second. Thanks for this. The spacing fork shift is 3 meter wide before spacing? Question mark?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now it's 3 meter wide before spacing. Yes.
And do we have an estimated carrying quantity capacity for different pot sizes? So means 15 centimeter, 17, etc.
Yes, in this case, it's a 5-liter pot. So for spacing, we are about, yes, like I said, 5-liter pots, 1,200 per hour with one machine and one guy. So I hope I understood that correctly. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise,
even smaller pots and bed sizes or wide bed sizes will be more.
okay. And then additional to this, how many 15 centimeter per transport fork? Okay, basically, okay, this was the question. How many 15 centimeter pots per transport fork?
So it's about here it will be about 64 to about 64 to 70. Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Depending
Yeah,
every time, depending on how heavy the plants are, right? So and how wide is the bed. So like you saw at the machine I showed you, if we have got a really wide fork, we can have short tines, and then we are able to move the point of gravity of the fork very close to the front axle, and in that case, of course, we are able to take more load on the MiniJack. In comparison to having a small fork with long tines, we will go with the point of gravity a lot more further. And so we need a lot more counterweight, or we would need a lot more counterweight to hold the machine stable. But yes, so that's how we need to figure out. Yes, right. So for us, it's better to have a wide fork with more tines, which are a little bit shorter, than having a small fork with long tines, which are, putting the point of gravity more forward. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for this. So, yeah, next one, I think additional to this. Then you can see, Malte.
Yes, here in that case, we that's at a customer in the north of Germany. We started to implement the MiniJack there, depending on what bed size again. So we figured out he want to have a bed width of 1.7 meters, and in that case, we started from that point and made all of his logistics working for this. So he had to lengthen his trekking wagons, his trolleys a little bit, I think about 40 centimeters, so that he's able to put on every trolley 2 packets of pots. And we can now easily take these packets down with the MiniJack, with one MiniJack and one guy. And this guy is even able to drive the trolley wagons back to the potting yard, and at the potting yard the people are loading by hand the trekking wagons. And yes, so that was a very easy starting point, just the investment in the MiniJack, and we use a lot of current equipment, so it was about, I would say, 32 to 35,000 euros. So, and then he can easily go with 1 to 2 people less than in the past. And like in this case, I would say about return invest of a year. Yeah.
Perfect. Before we come to the return on invest, just one short question. The spacing width is done by a program, or is it a mechanic system?
It's done by the spacing width is done by program. So and when you move, so it's depending on which fork you have. So depending on which fork you have, it's done by program. If you have the standard fork, only done by program. And on the spreading fork, it's in one direction it's done by program, and in the other direction it's mechanically. But we can we can adjust the mechanic distance. So you will move between 0 and 1, but this 1 you can adjust. So we have got a pin inside and have different different holes where we can put the pin inside, and then we can adjust it the distance between the pots. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for this. So you can also see there we covered this MiniJack in action.
Yes, so that's a tilt function and
yeah,
with the shelves. So like I said, yeah.
Yeah, correct. So also there, also important for the trays. Yeah.
Yes, so we of course made some forks for trays too. So we have some customers who are moving around young plants, and so we have to move the trays with the MiniJack too. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
So that's
last slide for the investment, before the investment. Yeah.
Yes, right. So that's what I showed you in the live demo. We have on one hand we have the CC trolley, in that case of our customer with hydrangeas. In the cooling area, then they will fetch it from the cooling area, put that on the buffer table, take the MiniJack, fetch it from the buffer table, space it out in the glass house area, or in the growing unit, in the growing area. And afterwards, if they need to load big quantities of plants in a short time, they will take the MiniJack to move that backwards. In the case of the customers, sometimes with MiniJack and sometimes done by hand, because they like sorting out in the field which plant is now ready for shipping, and so that they, if they have small amounts of plants, they will just do it a little bit like sorting in the area. Yeah.
Okay. And one more question on the spreading fork. What is weight capacity? Yeah.
So it's about the fork will be about 60 kilograms. So it's the weight is, it's even a little bit less. So we will be about 80 kilograms, I would say. So it's depending on how many times on the fork. So yeah, it's about 80 to 90 kilograms. So depending on which amount of forks we've got. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then we can go to the investment.
Mm-hmm.
I think also one of the most important questions.
Yes. So in this case, we have this buffer table with this about 30,000 euros. Then the MiniJack with 22,000 euros with spacing function. Then the spacing fork with 2,500, which is about 45,500 euros. So and we figured out that we do with that implement, we do the work of 2 other peoples, which are with a wage of 13.5 euros per hour in 2026 would be 45,000 euros per year. So we made that quite a little bit, or 48,000 euros per year, made that quite cheap, because we said, so it's a seasonal worker. So the return on investment would be, yeah, closely to within 12 to 15 months for this customer, that case. So yes.
Yeah. Okay, questions to this topic. I'm looking through the Q&As. Okay, not so far. Because then we can also give a little outlook to the transport trailer. I will come to this.
Yes, so that's our customized transport trolley for the MiniJack if you want to have more shelves. This trolley is easy movable on the middle axle, so which just means you can turn it by hand 360 degrees so that you are able to load and unload the trolley from two sides.
Yeah, perfect.
There's
some more options. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First, the options. Of course, like I said, there's we have the we are able to move the counterweight more backwards, which is the option above left. Then we have the tilt function we talked about. Then we have a dual wheel in the front for very soft soils, which is new now, which is available for all MiniJacks. We can just put that backwards on, and then we have this side shift, like I showed you. Yeah, so the tilt function again. So
we can already explained. Side shift as well.
As well, you will get the presentation afterwards. So there's some more details, or it's written down what I said. So yeah. Tim,
and we also
what are the 5 arguments for the MiniJack?
Yeah, correct. We will not read them for you, but also there you can read them by your own here in this presentation, or later on when we send out the presentation. This is also just 1 or 5 arguments. In the end, I think it's varies also on your challenges, on your capacity, also on your circumstances in your company. Which brings us also to next to the questions. Finally, if there are any questions, also to more added value. We appreciate your time today for this webinar. Thanks for this. And we also would like to give back our time as well for you. So what we also want to offer you is that we can, next to an investment plan or return on invest plan, that we can really make a deep dive, especially for your company, to really see, okay, what's in there, what you are facing. We are also offering that we can make a video tour through your company, that we can really follow it via FaceTime or WhatsApp video calling, for instance, that we can really go like the way a pod does, to really see, because Malte and his team is very deep in these topics. They saw a lot of companies, and they can all give, maybe in best case, they can give you also some advices or some free consultancy for this, to really see, okay, is there something in what makes you better in the end of the day. So yeah, this is what we want to bring to you. We will send out this presentation. There are the contact details in. Otherwise, you can also answer on our email we send if there's something. Yes. This is.
Are there some more questions?
I will check the chat. Yeah, there's one question. Who is the hydrangea grower?
It's Sujedelo in the Netherlands. So we've got it's the company Sujedelo. I think it's one of the biggest nurseries in Europe. So and they have these implement in one of their greenhouses in the Netherlands. Yeah.
Okay. So no questions left. Please feel free. So we will, from our end, we will come slowly to an end. So there is some space for questions. We will also, after the official ending, we will let this webinar open for a few minutes. So if you want to, feel free to stay in this room to ask questions via the microphone. It's possible. But for now we will close it officially. So again, thanks for your time. It's highly appreciated.
Yes.
We hope that you can get some insights out of this webinar. We are also happy about feedback, so please feel free to send us an email. Please send us also as well, highly appreciated if you send us some feedback about the topics or something or content you want to see next time, that we can prepare this. Yeah, we are very open for this.
Right. So yeah, happy for feedback. Everything what we do here is growing because of feedback from customers. All our machines are growing because of your feedback, and yeah, that's what we like, and who we are and what we do. Yeah, most likely find a good way to grow further, step by step, with our machinery and make it more valuable for your companies, yes, in the future.
There are no better last words. So thanks for this and have a good and successful day.